Welcome to the Unstoppable Product Pioneer Podcast, where we bring product and UX managers, designers, business executives, and strategists together to unlock the power of strategic alignment. I'm Tamara Stoltz, and I am on a mission to empower you to drive meaningful, measurable, and impactful outcomes by aligning business and product strategies. In each episode, I sit down with industry experts who share their experiences, failures, and wins, giving you the insights and tools you need to ensure your alignment drives real business results. It's time to own your expertise, step into your power, and become unstoppable. Amazing. Okay, welcome back to another awesome episode of the Up Podcast. Today is very exciting. We have Judith Cardenas joining us today, who is the CEO of Strategies by Design, which is a boutique consulting firm that helps organizations around the world with innovating and designing successful solutions and experiences for their clients. And extra special is that Judith specializes in helping leaders transform their businesses with AI, using AI. And so I know that a lot of our watchers and listeners are going to be super excited to tune in today. And we are going to explore how AI might enhance your work and product alignment. So we are going to welcome Judith. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. I'm so excited to be with you and with all your audience.
Amazing. Okay, so Judith, why don't we start out by just telling us a little bit about yourself, what you do, how you got here?
Sure. So, my journey has come through a lot of different iterations. I think, like most people, your life journey is not one straight line. It's a mix of different highways. Started in higher ed, spent the majority of my career in higher ed, and left there knowing that I wanted to do something a bit different. Always had a passion for design and a passion for human-centered design, creating solutions that really made an impact on people. So left higher ed, got into the executive leadership space, and then the innovation space. And I would say in the last 4 to 5 years, we've been in the AI space, really helping organizations understand where and how to integrate AI in their businesses. So fast forward after the whole world learned about ChatGPT, here we are, in a very different business space.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. AI. What did AI mean 5 years ago?
Well, it was so interesting. We were very much in the human-centered design thinking, helping design, solutions, having working with UX designers, product designers. And we started talking about AI. And back then, I think people had this immediate idea that it was a robot, very much very robotic. And what we were trying to do was really demystify AI. AI at that point was just entering the market, but we were using it for many, many years. Many of us have spam folders, that's AI. We get auto responses from Amazon, that's AI. But we never thought about those things as AI. So it was very, very difficult, I think, at the beginning to help people understand that they were already in the midst of AI without understanding the true transformation that was about ready to happen. So it was interesting first few years.
That's so interesting. Huh. Right. I guess when we think about it today, the perspective, it's so different. Only then can you go back and point to different things.
Yes.
Oh, actually that's
Yeah.
that's so interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've had people when we talk to them and we'll say like, well, do you use this kind of, automatic vacuum cleaner in your house? And that kind of like you hit and it cleans, the floors. And they're like, oh yeah, we've been using it for years. Well, it has a sensor that has been trained by AI to determine where your furniture is sitting and how it moves around. And I think you get these aha moments like, oh, I've been using that for years now. You're like, should I really be afraid? And I think the best example is the cars we drive. The cars we drive today are full of technology. It is the best interaction between a human and a tech tool is the cars we drive. But I think we just don't think about it in that way. We think about it more as a very human experience. But it, I would say the best is yet to come, and we're very excited about the future.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. And I think, especially for those who are listening or watching, I think this whole topic of AI, it's a big buzzword. I think that there's so much to be said
Yeah,
about it, so many different opinions. And I think for a lot of people, especially who are just starting out in the field, are not even sure how to think about it. Not
that's
sure how
right.
to feel about it.
That's right. And
Um,
and that's a hard place to be from as you know, someone who owns their own consultancy firm. Uh, People cannot start business anymore without having some level of understanding of AI and how AI can help them build their business. The days of gathering long list of contacts and trying to sequence email them and do all these processes can be automated now within seconds. And so the world has changed pretty drastically. Now it's our turn to lift people up and get them up to where they need to be so that they can utilize these amazing tools.
that's awesome. It's very refreshing to hear you talking about it as a tool and a resource and like a friendly companion to the work that we're doing. And I very much appreciate and am excited to explore this uh, topic of AI within business and design and innovation through the lens of positive, you know, uh, just approaching it from a more curious standpoint of, oh, like this is something that can really help me do what I know how to do, but better. This can enhance my work and help my deliverables be more valuable and not a
Yes,
threat.
that's right. And I think that augmenting people's work is like our number one goal. Uh, I think the other thing that I really love about your passion and your mission in your organization is that AI for us is very strategic. It needs to be thought of in a strategic perspective as a strategic companion and a strategic partner to help grow your business. And when you think about it in that way, it doesn't become a threat. It also helps people stop chasing the shiny object because there's plenty of shiny objects out there to chase.
Right.
And AI doesn't work the same way for everybody. It's very personalized. Now, are there some things that we should be worried about with AI? Absolutely. But I'd rather empower each of us to understand what we need to face in regards to a challenge, a bias, something that may not look like our privacy is kept intact, things that ethical and legal considerations that we all need to keep in mind. But I would say that AI as a whole, for us, we think about it very strategically, but also with a lot of curiosity. And I think that curiosity keeps us going. It doesn't keep us stuck in a way that we have seen other organizations kind of get stuck in the way to do things. So you're absolutely correct.
Well, that's fascinating. That's really interesting. Okay. So I'm curious to hear, since you have tremendous experience and you bring a lot of valuable insights from many years of being in the field. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how how the field has evolved because you know UX design is a perfect example of a career that 15 years ago was not on the list of careers, right? It's something that always technically it always existed. There was always some individual contributor who was working on software that was doing UX design. It might not have been, with all the different terms and processes and methodologies as official, right? So I'm curious to hear, as someone who's been in the industry and has watched things just evolve, um, like, I feel like we're at an exciting time just with
Yes.
all the different technologies that are, evolving and the rapid pace at which they're advancing. But I'm curious to hear from someone who has experience from when it wasn't, the cool, flashy, whatever thing to be doing. Like, what are your thoughts on where we're at now?
So we're really in an interesting hyper growth space. I mean, we're just at the beginning. When we think about it, things like Chat GPT, just came into existence maybe 22 months. It's going to be almost 2 years in November. And, you look back and you just think, wow, but I think the thing that what humbles us is that what we have learned is people are either afraid of it or they're excited about it. We have very few people in the middle. I think also what we're seeing is that there are some industries to some extent like UX that are getting a little bit disrupted with it. Like, what does this mean? Does this mean I don't have a job? Does this mean that, someone out there can hire a bot or purchase an AI tool
Mhm.
and actually have something be done for me? And what we say is that we need human brilliance. We really believe in the motto human in the loop. You really need a human with expertise and passion and vision for what they do to help us know how to augment these AI processes and tools. I think that is where we try to lift people up. So it's not all or none, basically. What we're going to see in the future, though, is going to be interesting. When we read studies from McKinsey or Deloitte or some of these big, large research firms, they're predicting like up to 41% of skills can be replaced by AI. But those skills that are going to be replaced or displaced need to be filled in with something else. And it's that higher level type of work, that higher level type of creativity. Those things are creativity, empathy, the ability to understand the customer you're serving. That's not going to go away. How we might approach it may change or shift. And I think that's the world that we're entering right now is helping people understand how to understand what makes best sense for them and their clients that they're serving, how this AI can help them shift in a way that increases engagement, increases customer satisfaction, usage, productivity, performance, and it's a different mindset. So I would say this is more of a digital skill upgrade and a mindset upgrade, is what we're experiencing.
Wow. Digital skill. So, would you say that for someone who's just starting out or who wants to explore product and UX design, is it critical or is it like a requirement for them to explore how to use how to utilize or incorporate AI within that space? I also wonder, is that something that, colleges or certification courses and boot camps are going to have to start integrating right into
Y-
their course
Yeah, I mean,
curriculum? They probably
you're,
already have.
you're spot on, and I think that uh, I the biggest that we have seen when we work with leaders, individuals, professionals, is that they're treating some of these AI tools, such, for example, ChatGPT, like Google, and it isn't. GPTs are basically uh, algorithms, or they're they're based on large language models that are built on lots of research, lots of pieces of data that help you predict. Uh, and so, what's really important is that we want everyone, young, old, in the middle. If you've started a career, you're in the middle of a career, to start dabbling. The more you dabble, the more you start gaining insight of how it could be used or should be used. What's a good solution that it may give you, and when is it possibly not the right solution that it's going to give you? You know your customer and your client the best. So you have that level of intimacy with the product that they're trying to design. So you want to be able to use the AI tools to help you iterate faster, prototype faster. Understand maybe that maybe not all clients are clustered in the same way. So we oftentimes run into organizations who create personas in such a way that it almost generalizes people into like categories. But the truth is, and you know this, you have a beautiful family, we're beautiful networks together. Not everybody thinks the same. They all have different perspectives, they all have different experiences. And so these AI tools can help us unravel those experiences to understand where and how we could possibly personalize something. At
Mhm.
the end of the day, product design, which I just love, I love product and service design, we're designing for a person to use or experience. So to understand how we can unravel that experience to make it a better experience, an easier experience, I think is gold. It's just we want to give everybody that opportunity to try that out.
Wow. Right. Yep. I want to just remind our listeners or our viewers to grab their pen I like to remind everyone to take their pen and jot things down because it's one of the things I love about listening or just talking, with different guests on the podcast is the amount of information that I get to learn and absorb. You know, it's just I'm sitting here like, wow, there's just so much. So um I have my pen. Um Right. It's AI. It's so tricky because like you mentioned, ChatGPT 2 years. I mean, for me, of course, I remember a time. I remember a time where that didn't exist. Right. I don't necessarily remember a time where other things didn't exist because I'm more at the beginning stages of my career. But I think it's for our listeners, our viewers who are just starting out and all they know is ChatGPT from school and it's we're in a generation of instant gratification. We want answers fast.
Right.
And I don't want to say that we don't want to work as hard because I don't want to be negative, but I do think that the work ethic has changed. I think that
Yes,
there are opportunities to make things easier and come quicker and faster, and our expectations of instant gratification as a society have really changed. And so I could see that being a challenge or a not a threat, but maybe a concern to someone who either is just starting out or someone who's in a product management role and is leading a team of people and either don't know the right tools to use or maybe are using them inappropriately just because they can and it's easier and it's quicker and it's faster, better, so they might as well. And so then we become either dependent or we rely on certain tools and therefore um, maybe we're getting the results faster, but maybe the quality of what it is that we're producing is not up to par. Like
yeah,
like that whole, I guess, space of instant gratification. AI can get us places maybe faster, but is it
right.
compromising on our ability to deliver to the quality and standards that we used to? Does that
That's
make
right.
sense?
It makes tons of sense. And there are two things I want to, hone in on. What generative AI has done for us is, you're right, it's given us some instant gratification, some instant way of getting an answer. And this is where we really believe that's why we believe it's a mental model as well as a digital skill upgrade. You might be able to get an answer very quickly, but is it the right answer? Is it the answer that is strategically correct for the business? Will it get the business to growth and opportunity? ChatGPT may or may not be able to help you. It does have some level of intelligence, but it's artificial intelligence. This is not you still need a human. Um, I think the point that you made though is so profound in regards to leaders who are leading teams of people who are actually using these tools. When the leader does not have a good sense or understanding of the vast definitions of what AI could be, or understand all the ethical and legal implications that they could have, it makes it quite difficult for them to lead that team. So you can imagine the amount of upskilling that both of us are going to need to do in the next couple of years. And because this is changing and evolving. So I would say in the last 3 weeks, I've seen ChatGPT have at least three upgrades. So it's not like I bought a software package, I'm putting it in my computer. Now I'm just going to use X, software, and I'm going to go my merry way. That's not how this is happening. It's evolving. It's becoming more mature, and that's what makes it so disruptive. If I train today, uh, and I record this beautiful, wonderful training on X, Y, and Z, could it change next week? Yeah, pretty much it could. So how do we build that yearning to learn? How do we build that curiosity that keeps someone going back to say, I wonder how might we do this? I'm wondering if this new version can give us this in regards to product design. I'm wondering how our customers are experiencing this in this way with other types of tools that they're working with. Um, that curiosity needs to be fueled all the time. So there's tons of opportunities for all of us to continue to pull together, to learn from each other and with each other. And I think that's our opportunity together is to figure out how to create that safe space for people to go, use the tool. Maybe they like it, maybe they don't. And I think both of us know we know a lot of people who will say, I'm not digitally literate. I don't like technology. It's not my space, And yet they have an iPhone or they have a phone, they're talking to some phone. There's all these kind of interesting behavioral elements from a human perspective. But I think that just gives us more opportunity. So, yes, on the one hand, it feels like it gives us instant gratification. On the other hand, we really want our employees and our team members to take us to that next level, to help us strategically understand. It might have written an email. But is that the tone I wanted to have it, convey? Are those the words? Are those words really the words that are going to help connect with my customer? Or are they
Right.
just words on an email that's going to go out? So lots to consider, but tons of curiosity all around.
Right. Yeah, I like this curiosity approach
Yeah,
because it holds you as a person accountable to review, revise, edit, right? It's using how to properly use a tool to enhance the work you do.
that's right. That's right. And it's not easy when someone's trying to get a product done quickly or they're trying to, solve a problem, inside an organization or somebody's losing money or they're trying to find a way to gain efficiency. So how do we like build that new behavior that becomes an everyday habit? And you're spot on. I think it's review, you know edit, redirect it. How you just don't take it. And I think we do see a lot of that, maybe with some people, where they'll just take what ChatGPT says and they'll just grab it and then they'll just run with it without even thinking about it. And so your analytical, creative thinking really needs to be pretty high all the time. And that's the beauty. If it can do some mundane things I don't like to do on a daily basis, and it could take that away from me, it should free me up to do the things that I love the most at a higher level.
Bring me up to do. Yeah, that's amazing. I like that a lot. Wow. Right. It's such a tricky balance.
It is. It's not easy. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay. This is amazing. So, especially within the SaaS industry, I feel like there are a lot of companies right now who feel tremendous pressure to somehow integrate, AI as a feature or some sort of feature enhancement that incorporates AI just so that they can check the box and say that they use it. And it's interesting because, going back to what you said about how really a lot of our software has some sort of AI component to it or element that's been in existence for a long time. We just haven't coined the phrase, this is AI.
yeah.
Um, but what can you say to the companies who are feeling maybe challenged or afraid? 2025 is coming and we're looking at our, competitors and we have to get something out fast because if we don't, then, we're in trouble. Is there Is it better to have something small and say that we have it? Or do you think that if a company or a software doesn't have a glaring feature that everyone recognizes as AI can still exist and continue to be successful even if they don't have it?
That's a great question. Uh, I would say that not every challenge has an AI solution, nor should it. Sometimes it's the simplest solutions that you can implement to help you increase your efficiency or engage your customers in a different way. What I would say is that, and you're spot on. We do see a lot of companies trying to add these AI features, and my question back to them all the time is, where in the customer journey are you adding this AI feature, and what are you trying to enhance, or what are you trying to fix? We see a lot of AI at the beginning of a customer journeys process, or customers, the beginning of the few steps, but the process may be broken down the line or it you have to have again that intimacy with your customer, knowing who they are, what they value, what they really need. It's interesting talking to so many people because I would say that people who use like healthcare is a great example. Healthcare uses a lot of AI. They use a lot of AI to help, identify diseases before they are expressed in the body. They use AI in their treatment. They use AI in their analysis of patient care. I don't think very many of us would say, "Oh, I love this healthcare system because they use AI." They're going to remember it because you touched them, you were empathetic with them, you understood their journey. They happen to use AI to enhance that experience for you. So I think knowing that, I would say, if it makes sense for you to add AI into your product because you believe you're going to enhance an experience or fix redesign more than fix, redesign a part of a process in order for you to move that process forward, then I'd say take a look at it. But it could be the lowest level of AI, which is more like the generative AI versus a robot, the highest level of AI. So we have AI in different levels of complexity. And within each level of complexity, there's different types of AI in there. So when we do our trainings, we touch close to over 200 types of AI. So I think when we use the term, we use it almost too generally.
Mhm.
But if someone feels like they really need it to add, my question would be is who are you serving? What's your product intended to do? What is the outcome? Would AI change the behavior that you're seeking your client to actually express so that they would have a better experience, or an employee have a better experience, or whoever they are serving? If you can answer yes to those, and mostly, I think the biggest question I always ask everyone is, does it make sense for AI strategically? Is this going to help move your business forward? Is it going to help with business growth, retention of employees, retention of customers, customer engagement? Then, if it is, let's have a discussion. If you're not sure, let's explore. If it's a no, then maybe that's not the right solution for you. So it comes in all different shapes and sizes. And what I would say is one size does not fit all. And I would say just don't pick one tool thinking like this is going to fix everything. It just doesn't happen that way. So if as we're entering to 2025, think strategically, think holistically, and think with your customer in mind. If you have those three elements, that will propel you to make the right decisions in regards to AI.
That's amazing. Can you repeat that again? Think
Yeah,
strategically.
strategically, think holistically, and think with your customer in mind. Your customer needs to be center. And you can tell, you can see a lot of AI apps being popped up, and then a year later they're gone. I mean, this this technology is going to continue to grow.
Right.
And as these large language models continue to mature, it's going to take over what some of the smaller apps are doing right now. And so there's a lot of competition. Like, do I need Grammarly if something else is going to change my grammar? Like, how many tools do I need, to do the same thing? So you're going to start seeing this merging of solutions that are going to be given to customers and clients. And so the best is yet to come. We don't even know what it's going to look like. So, but I do think if you are strategic, if you understand and that you really believe that AI can actually propel your company, and more than anything, is it going to make it easier for your client or customer to interact with you? If it does, great. If it makes it more complicated, you know what happens.
Right.
So I think that holistic thinking and really understanding who your customer is just that's why they need you. They need you to come
Right.
in and help them unravel that. And also knowing that customers are changing, their behaviors are changing, their desires and expectations are changing. So that's what I love about the UX world and the service design world, and these that's not going away. Yeah, it's just it's constantly changing and needing some polishing up. And so it's going to be a really amazing ride. So that would be my advice to everyone.
That's amazing. Okay, so 2025, we're thinking strategically, holistically, we're thinking with our customers in mind. We're remembering that there's not always an AI solution to every challenge. I think that that's so valuable to just remember. Um, and and just I'm it's so refreshing to have someone who's so experienced and been in the field for so long have such a positive like approach and perspective and just exploring this through curiosity and just excited about the unknown and excited to see how it continues to evolve. It's just so refreshing. So
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's
thank
great. And,
you.
uh, you know, we'll reconnect again. Let's connect in a couple of months and see where the industry goes. And it's a journey.
It
So
is
would
a
love to be
journey.
part of your journey.
This
So
is a journey. Absolutely, Judith. Wow, this has been amazing. Thank you. So, if our listeners and watchers want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to reach out? Judith is incredible. I mean, for all of those who have been listening and tuning in and watching, I know that you're walking away with incredibly valuable insights and challenges and next steps. This has been unbelievable. So, thank you,
thank
Judith.
you. Thank
And
you.
for our listeners and watchers who want to reach out to you and just get connected and learn more about what you do and your services, what is the best way for them to connect?
They can connect to us via our website at www.strategiesbydesigngroup.com or via LinkedIn. Those are the two best ways to get a hold of us. And if you private message me on LinkedIn, I will respond to you as quickly as I can. So either way,
Fantastic.
it's going to be great. So thank you so much for the invitation, and
Amazing.
thank you so much for being part of my journey. You continue to inspire me, and I am just so happy for all your listeners and for you in particular. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Judith. Thank you. Thank you for your time and for your incredibly valuable insights. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who watched and listened and tuned in. And we will see you in the next episode. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. I hope today's episode gave you a fresh perspective and some actionable steps towards aligning your product strategy with your business goals. Remember, you have the power to drive real change in your team and organization. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a review. It helps others find the show and supports us in bringing you valuable content. And don't forget, alignment isn't just a buzzword, it's a journey that we're all on together. So until next time, keep pushing for impact and making a difference.